So I need you to do a few things before we get started. I need you to go grab a snack, grab something to drink, find a comfortable spot to sit, because it's story time. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine, and if this is your first time clicking on one of my videos, hit that subscribe button and join the family. Let's be friends. Okay, so I said that we were gonna have story time, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna guarantee that it will be a quick story time because I have a lot of stuff to share. I know in the last few videos I've been talking about sharing where I've been and what's been going on, so this is that video. So I'm gonna try to set it up as a timeline. Okay, we're gonna do a series of events. And when I say series of events, y'all, it has been a lot. And I'm gonna apologize for this lighting. I'm actually filming in my room because the story time, I feel like it's a bit more intimate. I want it to be in kind of like a safe space. So if the lighting is a bit off, I apologize. But let's get started. I'm actually gonna be using my phone as a point of reference because, y'all, it's been real. You understand? So real quick, we're gonna go back to the month of September because that's when all of this actually began. And we're gonna go back to September the 2nd, to be exact. September the 2nd, my dad, who had been sick and had been hospitalized, was discharged that day and sent home. So I got a call from my mom and she says, "Hey Jazz, we're getting ready to head to the house, so can you and the boys meet me there so they can help get your dad in the house?" I'm like, of course. So we get there before them. They pull up shortly after. She backs into the driveway. We get out, we say, "Hey," my dad's sitting there. He's looking a bit not like himself. And I said, "How you doing, old man?" Because that's what I called him. And he was like, "I'm all right, gal." It didn't take long for us to realize that he was two things. One, too weak to stand, and two, unable to walk. So I asked my mom, "Hey, did they send you home with a wheelchair, walker, cane, something?" "Well, no, I told them we didn't need it." Sis, how we go get him in the house? So he's in the passenger seat of the car, and my niece and my two boys were there, and myself, of course, to assist. And my two boys began to try to get him out of the car. He couldn't even use his own weight to stand up. It took them about 45 minutes, maybe to an hour, to get him from the passenger seat of the car to an actual standing position. Y'all, this man was beyond weak. And can I say, before that, they sent him home in a gown, completely nude, with tubes everywhere. He had a nephrostomy tube, which is a tube going into his kidneys to drain because he was in advanced stages of kidney failure. He also had a catheter. It was a complete and utter mess. So they finally get him into a standing position. And he's standing there. He had one of my sons and my niece on either side. And then he said, "Oh no, I'm gonna fall." By this time he's panicking because he's too weak to even, his legs, they've stopped working. So I run into the house, grab the kitchen chair, bring it outside, put it behind him, and he sits down. He's out of breath, he's tired. He's very apologetic because he's feeling like he's created a burden for us because here we are outside trying to help him get in. Now, mind you, their driveway is pretty long. You probably could walk up the driveway in a matter of, in good shape, in a good 20 seconds. We're not 12, maybe 15 feet from the door, right? We sit there, he sits there, and I'm like, "Mom, what happened? This is not okay." So she remembers that she has a walker, the Hugo walkers, the ones with the little seat on them, and it has wheels. So I'm like, haha, idea, right? We sit him on the walker. The two boys tilt him back. My niece holds up his legs. We can push him in. He's in excruciating pain everywhere in his body. He says he's not, so we get him into the little walker chair. We try to push him and he's like, ah. So we're like, okay, that's not gonna work. So now we have to try to think of another plan. So by this time, we're just sitting outside, maybe about hour or two. It's getting cold, it's getting dark, and I'm getting frustrated. So I go stand alone by myself because I feel myself losing it in the moment, right? I'm like, God, how are we gonna get this man in the house? He can't, he's in too much pain. He can't walk, can't stand. What are we gonna do? So then I remember Junior. Junior is my brother who is handicapped. He lives about 10 minutes from my mom's house, and it's a house of disabled clients. So, and my brother is wheelchair bound. So I'm like, what's the likelihood of them having an extra wheelchair? Y'all, this is a shot in the dark, but I'm desperate at this point. So I hop in the car and I drive to my brother's house. I knock on the door, young lady answers, and I begin just, my dad just got out of the hospital, he's discharged, he can't walk, we need a wheelchair, do you guys have an extra one? I don't even think I spoke to the girl, but by this time, I don't even remember driving to my brother's house, okay? That's how flustered I was at the moment. She says, well, the house is packed up because we're selling it, but let me check. So I walk outside with her. We walk into the garage, and y'all, guess what was in the garage? A wheelchair. One lonely wheelchair. I promise you, in that moment, it seems as if like lights lit up around the wheelchair, and I could hear the celestial choir singing in the background, like, ah. She has to call to get the okay for me to take it. She calls, they say, take it. I grab it, throw it in the trunk, head back to my parents' house. And by this time, we're well 2 hours 45, 2 hours 30 minutes. And my boys and my niece get him up, lift him up, get him into the wheelchair. By this time, my parents' neighbors are driving by. And he and his wife, they stop, and the husband says, hey, you guys need help. And we're like, we'll take all the help we can get. Got my dad into the wheelchair. He's cold, he's nude. And they push him up the driveway. They lift the wheelchair into the house and up the stairs. Y'all, 3 hours to get my poor father into the house. I'm gonna say that was the beginning of what took place on September 14th, which I'll get to really quickly. So now, fast forward, September the 8th. 2 days after we got my dad into the house, he was admitted back into the hospital, and he was taken to the hospital by ambulance. And on the 8th of September, so it was myself, my mom, my 2 sisters via phone, and a team of doctors. And this was the day that we had to tell my father that he was dying. It was a very hard day, but the only words my dad had to say when they asked him, you know, Mr. Williams, you do know what this means? And he says, yes. He said, anything for the pain to be gone. What can you really say to that? You know, so that very next day, September the 9th, we took him home, and he went home on hospice, and we cared for him every day, giving him medication, making sure that he was eating when he was eating, making sure, you know, he had help to get up on the commode when we still could get him up, when he was still kind of alert. And then fast forward to September the 14th. I got really sick. Not like a little sick, I mean like sick. I had been at my parents' house all day, which had been the routine. I was still working, and I had gone home for the day. And what I was doing was I'd go over there in the morning, give him his morning meds, go back in the evening, give him his evening meds. And this particular day, I had left and I went home, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna cook dinner for the kids, because it had been weeks since I had cooked for my family. And my mom calls, Jasmine, I need you to come back. And I, for the life of me, can't remember what was so urgent, but she wanted me back at the house. So my girlfriend says, you know what, Jazz, just pack up what we were gonna cook. We'll bring the portable grill, we'll take it over there and we'll cook there, and then we'll just come back home after you give him his last meds. I was hesitant because I was feeling a bit anxious, but that's what you do, right? So we pack everything up. We head to my parents' house. I'm cooking, and all of a sudden I feel like super dizzy. I feel super sick. You know that kind of hot you get before you throw up? I was feeling real woozy. I told my girlfriend, I said, we need to go. We need to go now. She was like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't know, but I'm not feeling well at all. So by this time I did finish dinner. We packed it up, and I told my mom, I told my niece actually, I said, you know what? I'm gonna need you to give Pop his last medicine because I'm not feeling well. I need to go home. We got home, and I had a complete and utter mental breakdown. My kids came into the room, and my daughter was like, Mom, why didn't you tell anyone you haven't been feeling well? And here's the thing about me. I am a go, go, go. I'm definitely the definition of a strong, and I put that in quotes because we don't always have to be strong, but that's how I was raised, right? So, you know, you feel sick, you get over it, you keep it moving because you have to care for your kids, you have to work, you have to do all the things. But when my daughter was like, Mom, we're older, you need to let us know when you don't feel good, I literally just started bawling, broke down in my daughter's arms, and I cried. And I can remember uttering the words to her, I don't want to die. Y'all, I felt like crap, first of all, because I didn't want to put that burden on my children. I didn't want them to see me broke down, but it happened. And I think it was a bit of a healing moment for all of us as a family, because my son says to me, Mom, we need you too. It was a very big eye-opener for me, but that was definitely the beginning of a long time being sick. I was dizzy and sick for well over a month, maybe 5. It was 5-6 weeks. I had an MRI, I had a CAT scan, I had a host of blood work, I had several trips to the ER, I had a misdiagnosis, put on medication that I did not really need, and there was never any kind of diagnosis other than stress. Y'all, I need y'all to understand that I never knew that stress could pretty much almost kill you. And it was definitely, like I said, an eye-opening moment for me, because I could not walk, could not sit up, could not shower without assistance, couldn't cook, couldn't clean, could not go see my father for all of these weeks, because my body was like, yeah, what you think you about to do other than lay down? Yes, I was on the sick and shut in list. It was definitely a man down situation, because there was nothing I could do. So while being sick, on September 23rd, my doctor actually took me off of work and put me on medical leave. I was on FMLA disability, because I was still trying to work after I got sick, working, literally lying down with my laptop in front of me and just praying I made it through the day. But September 23rd, he was like, you know what? Nope, we can't do it because you're not getting better. And you're gonna need to be off. So October 7th at 2:30 in the morning, my father died. I got a call in the middle of the night, and I already knew what the call was when my phone rang, because I just, just that feeling you get. I was like, dang. So October 7th, like I said, he died, and we all went over to the house and we comforted my mom. We sat there with his body, and it was a very surreal moment. His face, while he was sick there at home, was like this kind of like grimacing. He was always in pain. Every day he was in pain. Even when he stopped talking, you still knew he was in pain, because there was a lot of like grunting. But when he was there, lying there, after he had passed, his face had literally calmed. You could see the peace that had overcome him after he died. But it was definitely a surreal moment. Like I said, I was like, wow, he's actually dead. That's the only thing that came to me. So fast forward again, October the 24th, we buried my father. He had an amazing homegoing service. It was literal church, and it was black church, so that should tell you it was an extremely long service. Well deserved, 83 years lived. However, it was long. Beautiful, long. October the 30th, I received a text from my coworker, and I had not been in contact with my job other than faxing over, you know, or emailing over my slips for work that, you know, my time off has been extended because I'm still sick. October 30th, my coworker texts me and she says, "Hey Jazz, how you doing?" I respond, "I'm coping, you know, doing the best I can. Trying to get through everything." And she says, "Hey, have the managers reached out to you to tell you about the changes in the department?" And jokingly, I reply, "Please tell me I still have a job, LOL, ... The very next text she sends to me is, "Can I call you?" This is when I need y'all to reference the title of this video. Do y'all know where I'm going with this? We are 6 days post-burial of my father, okay? She calls me. I'm in the passenger seat. My girlfriend's driving. We're in the car. I was having an amazing day. It was, you know, I was laughing and we were talking and we were vibing. Sun was shining, and she says, "So the managers haven't called you?" I said, "No, I haven't gotten any calls. I haven't talked to anyone." She says, "Well, you know, they did a bunch of layoffs and they pulled up the new org chart and your name isn't on it." I was like, "Huh? What you mean my name is not on it?" "Jasmine, I am so sorry." That's what I did. I was literally and completely speechless because no one had called me. So here it was, like I said, 6 days post-burial, and now a coworker is calling to tell me that I no longer have a job. Y'all, I didn't know what to say. You know, she was very apologetic. She's like, "I feel so terrible." She said, "I'm gonna call, you know, our immediate supervisor, our direct manager, and let her know, you know, that you had no clue." 2 days later, my immediate supervisor calls me and she says, "Jasmine, I'm really sorry, you know, but changes in the department, your role has been eliminated, and I thought someone, you know, would call to tell you." No one called. She said, "Well, I think they said that they sent a text or someone tried to call you. I had no missed calls. I had no text messages." She said, "Well, maybe an email." We end our conversation. I go searching through my emails, and lo and behold, on October the 28th, my daughter's 21st birthday, there was an email sent to me that told me that there were changes in the department and my role was indeed eliminated. You guys, I felt a couple of things. Blindsided. I felt a bit shocked. I've been with the same company for what would have been 14 years on the 26th of November. So I was a bit disappointed that I had to find out that I no longer had a job by a coworker who was just texting to check on me because she thought I knew I didn't have a job. So here I was in my mind feeling like, there was no longer an element of surprise at this point. I was like, nothing else could shock me. That's literally the space that I was in. But fast forward again, because we're not done. November the 2nd. November the 2nd, I get a call from my mom a little after 8 a.m. She says, "Hey Jasmine, just hear me out." I already knew something, it was something, because sis, and let me just say, my mom has been having issues with her memory. And during this span of time, we had a meeting with her doctor and we now know why. So that happened. But the morning of November 2nd, she says, just hear me out. I've been talking to this guy. He's been calling me and he told me that I won the lottery. Y'all know where this is going? He says that he's coming to my house to deliver my check and he's gonna go to the bank with me to deposit it. Y'all, I was like, Mom, this is not this is not how you win the lottery. This is not for real. This is a scam. I'm on my way over there. My girlfriend and I hop in the car. We head over there, and homeboy calls. I intercept the call. Oh, who is this? Well, this is her daughter. Oh yeah, well, your mom won the lottery, and we just landed at the Oakland International Airport, and we're gonna be coming to the house. I said, oh, you are? Oh, okay. So he said, oh, I have to call you back. Homeboy calls back. I said, sir, I need you to understand that I know what you are and I know what you're trying to do, but it's not gonna work. I said, I'm gonna advise you not to show up at my mom's house because it's not gonna end well for you. Homeboy got real belligerent. Started talking out the side of his neck. You can't tell me I'm still coming. I said, you show up here, homeboy, it ain't gonna be good. It wasn't gonna be good for him, y'all. So that happened. We stay at the house for a couple of hours, ensuring that this idiot is not gonna show up. Nobody came. So I informed my sisters and I informed my niece. We changed her cell phone number. We do all the things, right? Because he's been texting her after I go through and see. Homeboy's like, call me. He was bold. But these are the scams that happen, right? To elderly people who are vulnerable, who, anyway. So that very same day, my daughter thought it would be a great idea to go out and celebrate her 21st birthday. Really hard. And she came home after celebrating her 21st birthday. And have children, they said. It'll be great, they said. And it has been absolutely fantastic. But this particular day, y'all, same day, later that evening, while dealing with the daughter who celebrated hard, son calls. Answer the phone. Mom. First words out of his mouth, don't panic. If somebody says to you, don't panic, what are you gonna do? You're gonna panic. Son, what happened? Mom, I was on the freeway, somebody hit me, I spun out, but I'm okay. Y'all, by this time, like I said, the element of surprise, do y'all remember the scene on Home Alone when they realized Kevin wasn't with them after they got off the plane? And she was like, Kevin! That's literally where I was. I was like, y'all, I said, where are you? He sends me his location. He's about 20 minutes away. I know for a fact I got there in about 7 minutes flat. I get there, he's pulled over on the left side of the freeway on this bigger part of the shoulder. His car is completely damaged. The back of it is hanging off. She's shaking up. He's like, Mom, I'm fine, I'm fine. I could see it all in his face. He'd already called the police and he got in his car with me. It was a nightmare. So the police come, they do a break. We get off of the freeway. That's all in one day. At that point, I was like, you know what? I had to have a heart-to-heart with God. And I had to say, you know what, G, I don't know if you misheard my prayers when I was asking for blessings and you misheard that and mistook it for lessons, but I'm tired. I felt like Sophia looked in The Color Purple after she got out of prison. I was like, I don't need no more lessons. I can't take not another thing. I know the saying, you know, God gives his toughest battles or whatever to the strongest soldier. I don't want to be a soldier. I don't want to do none of the things because well, let me get to the blessings of all of this thing, to the good part of the video. And yes, folks, I know it's a bit long, but stick with me, please. If you're still here, subscribe. Anyway, we're gonna go back. We're gonna talk about the lessons and the blessings and all of these things that happened. We're gonna go back to September the 14th, the day that I got sick. Like I said, I have always been a go, go, go. Ignoring the warning signs when my body was like, sis, you need to probably sit down. When I got sick, I didn't have a choice. God was like, lay down. And that's what I did. However, the blessing in that was it gave me an opportunity to get closer with my children. It gave me an opportunity to spend time with them, which had been taken away because I was caring for my parents. It gave others an opportunity to step up to do what I had been doing alone. It gave me time to reflect. And I truly believe that had that not have happened, had I kept going, I could have had a heart attack. I could have had a stroke. I could have died because my body was completely and utterly broken down. October 7th, my father died. The blessing in that, his suffering ended. My father suffered. He suffered so bad. Like I said, he was in such pain. You guys, he was on morphine, he was on methadone, he was on Dilaudid, he was on every hard drug you could possibly think of. And he cried and he apologized and he said, I'm tired of suffering. He was asking for God to take him. And the day that he died, like I said, the peace that overcame his face was something I cannot explain. The selfish part of me wanted to keep him here, of course, but the selfless part of me was so happy to see him no longer suffer. October 30th, the day that I got the text about losing my job. While I was disappointed, you guys, a big part of me felt a sense of relief because unfortunately work has been a big part of stress in my life, this particular role. And while I was eternally grateful for the time that I was given and the time that I had at the company, I couldn't be mad because I'm a firm believer that God does everything for a reason. And for a long time, I had been feeling like there was something bigger. There was something else that I should be doing. And I now know what it is, you know. Sometimes I believe when we are obedient to our calling, God will push us into what we're supposed to be doing, testing our faith. And let me tell you, this was a true test of faith because I went from a hefty 6-figure salary to absolutely zero in a matter of 24 hours. But I wasn't afraid. I didn't feel like, wow, God, what am I gonna do? I didn't get that feeling. I felt really strongly that, you know what, I'm trusting that God he's setting me up for something greater. And I know that, I feel it. And I've been getting confirmations that that is what it is. The day that my mom with the scam artist, I was so grateful that she called me first because I was able to intercept the call and stop what could have been a terrible situation. My daughter, I believe that she learned her lesson that day, bless her heart. And my son, that night, he could have been killed, but he was spared. He literally spun on a busy highway and not one car hit him. Nothing touched him. No scratches, no bruises. While he was shaken up, he was okay. There was a blessing in everything that happened, even all of this. And for that, I am truly grateful. The purpose of me doing this video is to encourage someone that although it may look challenging, although it may seem like everything is going wrong, y'all, stay steadfast. Hold on to your faith because it's not over. It's not over. And I think that's the lesson that I learned in all of this. I'm still smiling. I actually told my therapist, this is the most at peace I've felt in a very long time. And to me, that speaks volumes because, honey, let me tell you, I was having a conversation with my son and he literally said to me, Mom, if I told somebody everything that we've experienced in these last few months, they wouldn't believe me. Like, it literally feels like a movie. But honey, what's next for Jasmine the woman? What's next for Talking All That Jazz the brand? Stay tuned. I'm excited and you guys should be excited. But before I go, one thing all of this has taught me is that you only have one life to live and you should live it to the fullest. So I'm going to take this opportunity to shoot my shot before 2020 ends. And for a very long time, I have admired the work of Miss Ellen DeGeneres, and I would love the opportunity to work with her. So in the event that she sees this video, hey Ellen. So let me just say, I actually have a very impressive skill set, if I might say so myself. I'm definitely a people's person. I can read well. People love me. Animals love me. I can sing. I can cook really well. I definitely have the gift of gab. And I remember what you did for Jeannie when she came on your show and you asked her, you know, like, what do you want? What do you need? And she said a job. Well, Ellen, as of October the 30th, I'm unemployed. So I can start immediately. And I've heard that I'm not too bad on the eye. So, oh, also I have a bit of acting experience. Okay, well, a little. I mean, I was an extra in the wonderful series 13 Reasons Why, but I was one hell of an extra because they asked me to come back and shoot a second scene. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, turn on your post notification bells so you know every time I upload, and I will be uploading because I ain't got no job. So I'll see y'all in the next video. Love y'all, mean it, bye.